What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I'm back with another Out of the Theater review. Now, the new release this week, the big new release, is Gran Turismo, but I, of course, already reviewed that about a month ago. I saw it, so you can check out the review. It is here on the channel. Go back down after this and go see what I thought if you're thinking about watching that, if you have not already. I figured I was going to do a review. I did need to review something, and so I'm actually going to do a review of a movie I saw last week. I should say last weekend, and I haven't really seen too many reviews, people talking about it at all. It did pretty bad at the box office, so that could be why, but I did check out a movie called Strays, and so I'm just going to go ahead and give you my quick thoughts on this movie, spoiler free. Of course, before I do that, if you would please consider subscribing to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, that way you get notified every time we drop new videos. And we're going to be dropping a lot of new videos, so you definitely want to be subscribed and be alerted when those happen. If you can, please drop a like down below as well. And leave a comment. Did you see this movie? Were you one of the few people, apparently, who saw it? What did you think of it? Let me know down below. All right, Strays. So this is a... This is a talking animal movie. What you would normally see in maybe a kid's film. You know, it reminded me of this movie from when I was growing up called Homeward Bound, where these three dogs, it's like two boy dogs and a girl dog, and they're like, or maybe there was a cat. I don't even remember the movie really. All I remember is they were lost and they gotta go back home and they could talk. And this is pretty much an R-rated adult version of a movie like that. I'll start with the positives. I think the voice cast is really good. Will Ferrell, you know, to some people, amazing comedian. For me, hit or miss, but I have loved some of his movies and I have hated some of his movies. So very hit or miss. Jamie Foxx, of course, another. Randall Park, Isla Fisher, Rob Riggle. So a solid voice cast, honestly. And as far as pretty much the only human person who gets any sort of time is Will Forte as the owner of Will Ferrell. So good, talented cast. That's pretty much it. I did not like this movie. I think if I was a little more juvenile, if I was 15, this movie probably would have been hilarious to me. But I just feel like it overstayed its welcome. I felt like it was very one note, and it's only 90 minutes. But I think something like this works in a very short form. It's one of those things where it's a funny idea, but then when you're actually trying to make a movie around it, doesn't really work, in my opinion. I think there was a couple of jokes that were okay. Some of the jokes where they kind of focused on dogs and their behavior. For example, this is not a spoiler or anything, but there's a scene where one of the dogs is trying to tell a knock-knock joke, and every time she says knock-knock, all the other dogs start barking. You know, because if you have a dog, every time someone rings the doorbell or knocks, they bark. So that was clever. That was kind of funny. And it didn't have to be raunchy. My whole thing was, and I love a good, funny, R-rated comedy. But it's like, this wasn't very clever, except for those few moments where it didn't try to be so raunchy. It is like, you know, pee and poop jokes and wiener jokes. And I'm trying to be PG here, but you know, anatomical jokes about dogs and sex jokes, but with dogs. And so it's like, okay, it could work as a short. I think this would really work as a short or even a skit on some kind of comedy show where they could be R-rated. But as a movie, I mean, 15 minutes in, I was already like, okay, let's keep it moving. There's a little bit, I guess they try to have a little bit of heart, you know, to the story, but I'm not even a dog person like that, so I don't really care that much. I didn't really buy into the storyline. I thought it was not funny. I just didn't think it was funny. And for me, when you have a comedy and it's not a funny comedy, it's the number one sin. And maybe some people will find this funny. I'm sure some people will find this funny. Some people will like this humor. I'm not one of those people, and I don't personally know a ton of people who I would recommend this to that I would think, you know, would find it hilarious. Yeah, just a little too one note. I chuckled like 5 times. So a 5-time chuckles. I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. A 3 out of 10 because it has a good voice cast. And actually the way the mouths moved when the dog talked, that looked pretty good. So I'll give it credit for that. And it's short. It's not 2 hours. So I guess a bonus point for that. That's 3 points. 3 out of 10. Did not enjoy this. Do not recommend it. I'm not surprised it bombed. I didn't think the trailer looked funny, and I didn't think the movie was funny. So Anyway, I will be back next week with another out of the theater review. Finally, a new movie, and it's going to be Equalizer 3. So I'll be reviewing that. Until then, take it easy.